It's good to me.
All right, we're recording.
Okay, so can you please just share what your role is and what your program is and how you work together?
Okay, I'll start. My name's Lisa, and I'm the parent educator of the toddler program. Our toddler program here at our school is a parent participation program. And what that means is that parents come with their child to school. They participate in the classroom, participate in their child's school experience, but during that course of our program, they will separate during their classroom time, and when they separate, they come to a parent meeting with me. And I conduct and facilitate a parent meeting for each parent group. There we have two groups, and our Monday, Wednesday, Friday group meets on Mondays and Wednesdays, and our Tuesday, Thursday group meets both days. And we usually meet for about an hour, sometimes a little bit longer. The range of our topics for parent education usually pertains to normal growth, child growth and development, appropriate toddler development, health and safety issues, lots of parenting strategies, and also just reflection on what's going on in the classroom.
And I am the toddler teacher. The teacher and the program begins as early as 19 months, and some of the children leave, and they're three, two different groups. I am the facilitator with the children. My job is to aid in separation and to be available to the parents as they watch and to be able to guide them while they're in the process. And I am the one that facilitates just the learning at the social level in the classroom. And my other part of my job is to model the strategies that Lisa teaches in the class, in her parent ed. I will model the practices and teach the parents those skills of conflict resolution, messages with the children, and that's my job.
So can one of you say that this is one program, but you are in two physically different locations?
So in our program, parent participation with the child begins in our classroom environment. So Leslie and I do a lot of collaboration together in the classroom before children arrive, or in the beginning of the year. I'm as much a participant in the classroom environment as much as Leslie. And then as soon as our separation process begins, we go to a separate environment for parent education meetings. So essentially our program does represent two environments, one in the classroom and one for parents in parent education. But they tend to kind of morph into each other during the course of the year, depending on what's going on. We have a lot of collaborative projects that we do together. So I tend to be in the classroom during certain projects, usually as an educator, a helper, an extra set of hands, also to help parents understand what our process is in the classroom. An example of that is that Leslie and I collaborate for our Great Artist program. We have a Great Artist program here at our school, and we do explore this with toddlers. So we do a lot of our planning together. We share creative ideas, we share logistics, we try to timeline our projects, but we also need both of us to help the children work in certain art mediums and complete certain projects. So we do Great Artists side by side. Right. We do parent education during that time too, but we'll be in the classroom and out of the classroom and then in parent ed. So it can kind of, go back and forth.
So Leslie, maybe could you share maybe an experience or a story where you and Lisa were in conflict about whatever issue or family member, or whatever it was, because you work very closely together. You have to collaborate. How do you work through that working relationship together?
And I think currently you'll find very few that we don't agree with, because can
you start the
I'm
question?
Sorry.
We work very closely together, but conflict does occur.
Right. Let me just give some thought too, because I'm just my train of thought. Would you mind just phrasing the first line of your question one more time? How do we...
We work...
You work collaboratively together, very closely.
Right.
But conflicts are going to arise. And
Right.
so how do you resolve that? Because your working collaboratively
Right.
is important to the process of the program.
Right. And Lisa and I have been working together as a whole for 9 years. And when we find difficult issues, we tend to be able to come together and resolve them easily now. When we first started, there were boundaries that we had to come up with and ideas that we worked together on whose environment was where, who was doing parent ed, who was doing teaching. I had to be very respectful of her space in parent ed as she was with my space in the classroom, and learning those boundaries was, I believe, where we had the conflict. But we discovered that we both are very respectful of each other and both have the same philosophy and very much trust what the other one does. So what happened is the same techniques we'll use with the classroom and building our open communication and trust was what Lisa and I developed with each other in the very beginning of our relationship. And it's really stayed with us as a core team. And I think really relates to the parents and the toddlers as we work together. And it's a remarkable thing to watch the children become as involved with you this year, because she's been so much more involved in the classroom this year because of our changes. And it's wonderful.
I think one of the biggest areas that we had conflict with was just different styles of how we approach things. I tend to be, let's do this now, let's just get it, figured out and let's go. And Leslie's way, well, let's just see how this goes. Let's see how this plays out. We might need a couple more days. We might need another week to kind of see how this child responds. Or, if something's really cluttery, I'm like, throw it out. Let's get it out of here. Leslie's like, no, I might need that next year. This was really useful for me with this child this year, so we really had to kind of honor that we have different styles in certain areas, but now Leslie this year is throwing stuff out. And so we tend to rub off on each other really easily too. So I think that just comes from us working together for a long time, but also kind of knowing each other inside and out and respecting that. So it's a great working environment and relationship. So.
Okay, we're done with you, Leslie. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Good luck.